Hi everyone, welcome to Tom's Manshed. Okay, today's review is going to be on this. Now, I didn't get this from Amazon, my usual place I get stuff, or at Lidl's. I got it off eBay. I'll show you the box first. And what it is, as you can see, I'll show you the English side. Might help. So there, we've got a twin pack reusable silica dehumidification kit with shoe drying function. As you can see there, you get two sort of packs of the silica gel desiccant and a fan to dry them out, and the little shoe adapter there. I'll show you all them in detail soon. 2 hours rapid charge, that's to dry them out. They're not rechargeable batteries or anything. It's a mains powered fan and heater that you put them on to dry them out once they're impregnated with water. And you can see all the details there. It's from a company called Prem-I-Air .co.uk in Sutton, St Helens. So that's that. Now what you get in the box is you get the 2 units. And as you know, silica gel, it absorbs moisture, and it absorbs quite a lot of weight of moisture. So you would put one of these packs in somewhere that's getting damp, like your car, on top of your car dashboard overnight, a wardrobe, a cupboard, any sort of confined space. They're not going to dry damp a whole damp room or anything, these little tiny things. You'd need quite a few of them for that. But they're ideal for things that I've just mentioned. I used to have some it was like a wheat sort of like grain inside a canvas bag that I plonked on top of the car dashboard overnight when it was getting moisture all over the windscreen, and it really, really helped. I saw them in Aldi, and I haven't seen them for quite a while. And they sort of stayed on the dashboard better because they were like a soft thing, and they moulded them to the shape, and you could go around corners and stuff and they wouldn't move. Now these, obviously you wouldn't. You'd have to leave it overnight and then put it in your glove box or something. But the good thing about these is the little dryer that they come with. Now, there is a site, I'm going to put a card up here, where I first saw these, and it's called bigclive.com, and it's a great site. He's got, I think, over a million subscribers. And you never see Big Clive himself, very, very rarely, but he's got a great presentation style, and he takes things apart, mainly electronic things, and a lot of stuff from AliExpress and Banggood and stuff, to see how really bad they are made inside. Some of the electronics are diabolical, and he does a top-down view where he splits them all apart. Ends up destroying them half the time just to do the video. Now, he did a recent video on this very item to see what it was like inside, and he was quite impressed. He didn't really come across anything terrible. The heater is a nice sort of quality little heater in the dryer bit. I'll show you in a minute. These are full of quite a lot of silica gel. They've got indicating colour on the top to tell you whether it needs recharging, and you get 2 of these and the dryer and the shoe drying attachment for a bargain price of well, let's have a look. First of all, before we go into alley work, we'll have a look online and see how much he got them for and how much I got them for from obviously the same eBay seller, but also how much they are elsewhere, even on eBay, at almost double the price. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so we can see here on eBay some of the inflated prices some people are selling it for. So you can see there exactly the same kit, $39.49, nearly 40 quid. I paid 16 for mine from another eBay seller. So that's one of the tier ones, where it shows you a few there, but yeah. Then we're getting better now with this one, boxed to me, $21.92. I'm sure I came across that box to me earlier on, and it was cheaper, but that's $21.92 there. This is the one I got it from, 1688 DFB Sound and Light Warehouse. I will put a link in the description below to this one. So then we've got this one on Amazon, the same one on Amazon, for less than a quid dearer. So normally I would have gone with Amazon. I didn't spot this, and because due to Amazon's much better, fantastic returns policy, I would have gone the extra quid for that alone. But as it's happened, I won't be returning it. It's really good. I like it. But yeah, $17.50 on Amazon, $16.88 for what I paid. On that one, Robert Dias, 35 quid. So yeah, it shows you the foot dryer as well with it. So 35 quid of Robert Dias, and again here, heater shop, 31.51. So again, double the price from the eBay seller I got it from. So yeah, I don't think I've ever come across an item so different from different sellers on eBay. More than double. I paid 16 and one person's wanting 35. Ridiculous. But yeah, so that's the place that I definitely recommend getting it from, there or Amazon. I'll put a link to both. I'll put a link for the eBay item I got, and I'll put a link to the Amazon one, which is only less than a quid more if you want the extra security of Amazon. But like I say, this isn't going to go back. It seems pretty good. So I then thought, well, who are Prem-I-Air, Prem-I-Air, and I'm sure I'd heard of them before. Like I said, that's the address of them. So you can see there at Langcots Lane, Sutton, St Helens, Merseyside. And there's phone contact details on the website and everything. So I thought I'd look up their website and see what else they do and see what sort of firm they are. So let's have a quick look at that now. So this is their website, Prem-I-Air. When you type it in, their web address, prem-i.air.com, this is the site that comes up. And I thought, oh, this is weird. And as you look up there, it's Electrovision in the Earl address thing at the top. But if you look down here, it's the same address. Langcots Lane, Sutton Oaks, so they're the same company. If we click on the home page here, you'll see Prem-I-Air is listed there. And if we click now, still 2023 catalogue, but you can see all the stuff they do. USB fans, desk fans, and that's where I've heard of the name before. I must have had one of these desk or pedestal fans or whatever. There's loads and loads of them, ranging from little USB fans right up to big dehumidifying units, air conditioners, split, whatever. So yeah, quite a lot. Heaters, oil-filled heaters, all sorts. So yeah, a big-ish company, and there are other ones here. Product videos on all these. On this humidifier, there's a little video to watch there. Doesn't really explain much. These are all their catalogues. So yeah, they seem to do quite a lot. So yeah, obviously the items themselves are probably made in China like everything else, but they are a UK distributor or whatever, and it's quite handy to have that. Not just a thing direct from China, like from AliExpress or Banggood. So this is the instruction book. It's quite a thick one, glossy. It's very basic, but I've not spotted any silly translation mistakes. I'm sure there's nothing you really need to know in there. And the other side, even maintenance. And it shows you the plug in there, as you saw, and I did check, it is a 3 amp fuse. which is what it should be, not a 13 amp. So what do I get in the box? Well, you get the dryer. So yeah, that's the dryer. You'll hear how noisy it is in a second when I turn it on. And yeah, check out the card at the beginning of this video for the review that the strip down that Big Clive did on his channel, and that'll show you all the insides. And like I say, he was quite impressed with the quality of the heater and everything inside. There's nothing to be alarmed of. The electronics seemed fine. So what you do, once the units have absorbed the moisture from wherever you've put it, you put them on this to dry. I'll turn it on now. The red light comes on. If you can see that. And I don't know how the mic's picking it up. If I put it really close, you'll hear it. But if I sort of hold it about there, it is quite loud. I wouldn't like to be too close to it for any prolonged time drying out. So best sort of do it in a room that I'm not in, or at the total other end of the room. And what you do is, once these have absorbed all the moisture, and that's the property of silica gel. If you haven't seen it, it's like little glass beads. You can get it in various forms, sort of like a granulated form or the glass beads one that you can hear shaking around. And it absorbs a lot compared to its weight. I'm not sure the ratio, 1-to-1 or whatever, of moisture. Once it's full of moisture, you've then got to dry it out and drive that moisture out, and then it's ready to use again. Now, inside here is just normal silica gel, the clear colour, the white, clear, milky sort of coloured. I think they are actually clear beads, but they look white when they're all together. They don't give any indication on whether they've got water, whether they have absorbed the water or not. You need ones with a colour on them to do that. And there in the lid, you will see they've put like a small spoonful of the coloured type of silica gel. Now that gives you an indication: orange when it's dry, ready to use, ready to absorb water; green when it's full of moisture and says, hey, dry me out. It'd be a waste to put the coloured stuff in here, because you can't see it through there. You only need an indication there, and it's a lot more expensive, obviously. So they've just done the normal stuff there and that to give you the indication. Now this is the dry one. I've had that on the dryer and got it as dry as it'll go. And this, and I can feel, I'm going to show you the difference in weight in a minute, is the one that's full of moisture. So you can see the difference in colour. Shows you the band: dry when it's orange, wet when it's green. And you can see the definite difference. That's the dry one, obviously, and the wet one. And I can really feel the difference of that. So once it is fully absorbed all its moisture, you put it on there like that. It looks like a screw thread, that, but it's not. It's just like a ridged thread, and that grips on this bit here. So you just push that down, and there's a lug there. You can see it. There, that little raised dome lug there. And that corresponds to the two holes underneath. So you just put that on there, put it around there, and then you turn it on. And it says I think it's two. Let's have a look. Yeah, just had a look in the book. 2 to 3 hours, it says. So you just put it in there, and then you would turn it on. And there's quite a bit of heat comes from this heater. Also, from brand new, it stinks. It must be burning off the accumulated dust or protective oil or something like that, but it absolutely stunk. But that smell has gone now. And yeah, so you just leave that there for your 2 or 3 hours. So this is the one I've dried. I've had it on the heater for about 2 to 3 hours, as it suggests. When they both arrived today, they were about between orange and green. They weren't as soaked as this one is now, and they weren't totally dry. Obviously, they've come through the post and absorbed moisture in the air and in the back of the van and on the travels. So they have done the job. So I thoroughly dried one out, that one. I'll show you what it gets down to in weight. On this one, I've done the opposite. I've totally soaked this. I've sprayed it with water. I've held it in front of the kettle boiling, got loads and loads of steam in it. I've not submerged it in water. I didn't want to absolutely soak through the silica gel and get it all sticking together in a solid blob or whatever. So I did it, and I kept sort of shaking it up, and you can still hear they are still loose. Not as, you can hear the difference in sound. Dry. Shirt that one, that's the dry one. Oops. And that's the soaking one. But you can see there's no liquid coming out of it. So everything it's absorbed. I'm going to weigh them in a second. And like I say, you can see that is green, but you can physically feel the weight. So let's have a look now at the difference in weight between the two, a dry one and a wet one. Okay, so as you can see, this is the dry one. We've got the orange silica gel in there, and if we put it on the scale, you can see we're at 460 grams. That's as dry as it'll go. I kept checking it, and it wouldn't get any drier than that. So 460, totally dry. If we check this one, see it's the green one. We have got 563. So 103 grams it is absorbed of water. So yeah, quite a lot, 103 grams. And like I say, I can physically feel the difference between the two. Right, so let's weigh out 103 grams of water. So first of all, I'm going to put this empty wine glass, whatever glass it is, I don't drink wine, on the scales. You can see it's 104 grams. I've just been experimenting. These little dots that are in it now of water are making up that 1 gram. I put it on, and spookily enough, this empty glass was also 103 grams. So 104 grams to start with. We want to get it up to 207. That means there's 103 grams of water in it. So I'm just going to pour this water in. Show you what I'm doing. I'm just pouring from a glass into it. Have a quick guess. Wipe that off. So we're after 207. Right, 203. Oops. Just a tiny bit more. Oh, they are 207. Just to prove I'll wipe them drops off. We're down at 0 grams. 207. So there is 103 grams of water in this glass. So let's have a look at a better angle how much that is. So yeah, as you saw there, a surprising amount. I did a review, I think it was my last one I uploaded, about a drying cabinet for 3D printer filaments to dry them out because they can absorb moisture. And I was surprised how much water weighs, you know, how much you get for a certain amount of grams. This was even more. So this is what 103 grams looks like. You know, it's a full, don't know what you call it. What do you call it? A wine glass? I don't know. But that's it. Fair old weight over and above the glass. But that's how much moisture this green one has absorbed, as opposed to the the dry one, the orange one. So yeah, quite a lot. So I'm going to put it on now for 2 hours, and I'm going to time it because that is pretty full. I can't see it getting any more moisture in than that. I'd be very surprised because like I said, I've sprayed it and everything. So I'm going to put it on the dryer and time how long it takes to get it down to that absolute dry weight of, 460. But before I do that, I'll just show you the shoe attachment. So as well as them two, you get this little shoe or trainer drying attachment. Obviously, this just goes on there and it just blows the warm air into your trainers. It's nothing to do with these. So you put it on there like that and then turn it on and it blows warm air through here. It's not much of, it's not like a hairdryer or anything like that. There's no massive amount of wind comes out of it. But I can feel it, and already, and it's only been on a few seconds, I can feel hot air coming out of there. So I would imagine it's pretty effective. And then obviously when you're finished, take that off and put them on. So I'm going to go and plug this in the kitchen now and dry. Time 2 hours to see how long it takes to dry this out. But meanwhile, I'll show you this in action, drying some, or connected to, they are dried and wet them, connected to some trainers that I've just filmed in front of me. So that's the shoe attachment on. And this is how you would dry your shoes. Let's get a pair of trainers. They're not wet, obviously. I've not wet these. So I've no idea on the effectiveness of this. I'm not going to wet them through and time it, because it's all relative on how wet they are, of course, isn't it? So, but that's how you do it. You put the outlet nozzles in the trainers like that. And then you turn it on. And again, no set time or anything for this. Just keep coming back. But, you know, it's amazing how, you know, it's not blowing a gale, obviously, through these vents, but I can feel that getting warm already in here. Yeah, so I would imagine it's going to be quite effective, but that's how you use the shoe attachment. So after 2 hours drying in the kitchen, I wrote the figures down here, it had gone down, when I put it on, straight after it was full of water and green, full of moisture and green, it was at 563 grams. 2 hours later, it had gone down to 475 grams, so almost the full sort of 103 grams or so capacity has been dried out in 2 hours. Now, another half hour, it went down from 475 to 466. So I only lost 9 grams in that extra half hour. So it seems that it dries very quick first when it's pretty wet. But to get that last little bit, it's like charging up a battery, I suppose. It dries out pretty quick first, but to get that last extra tiny bit of moisture out, it's another half hour just for like 9 degrees, so it isn't worth it. So I would say, yeah, 2 hours and it'll be almost dry. The extra half hour isn't worth it. You might as well just dry it every 2 hours. Now, one thing I noticed in the instructions is if you look at it there, operating costs, at the time of going to press, the average cost of electricity is 12 pence per kilowatt hour. The amount you are being charged will be shown in your electric bill, blah, blah, blah. But at that cost, it'll cost 0.01 pence per hour to run as a shoe dryer and approximately 3 pence to dry out one of the cartridges. Now, 12 pence per kilowatt hour, it said at the time of going to press. I looked it up. And it was 2021, evidently. It seems a long time ago. It's 2024 now. And my electricity is 30 pence, the cap, 29 sort of pence during the day, and only 7.5 pence on my nighttime EV rate. But that is going down next month in April to about 3p to 27. But yeah, 12p was a long time ago. But still dead cheap to run. The wattage on the bottom of it is, where are we? 68 watts. Yeah, 68 watts. So I was curious to see how accurate that was. And I wanted to know what temperature these actually got to. So I plugged it in a while ago on the desk and took some readings. Let's have a look at them now. Okay, so it does use what it says it does, near enough. About 70 watts, as we shall see. But I just thought I'd show you this. When we initially turn it on, you'll see it shoot up to about 180 watts for just a millisecond, then go down to its normal rate. So as we turn it on now, there 100 watts for a minute and then down to sort of 67, 72. So just to show there's no thermostat, we're going to press the reset button now. And we can see the time there at the top is on 2 seconds, 3 seconds and so on. It's using 74 watts at the moment. So I'm going to put the thing on it. We're going to come back in 10 minutes time and I'll demonstrate to you that there's no thermostat, because we'll see the highest and the lowest it's used in that 10 minutes. So we'll come back in 10 minutes and we'll see what temperature it's got this up to and what temperature the base is at as well. Okay, you can see we're just coming up to 10 minutes now, and if we look at the highest and the lowest it's been using at the moment, it's running at 72 watts. If we go on to that low, so the lowest it's used during that 10 minutes is 71 watts and the highest 74 watts. So we can see there is no thermostat. It doesn't turn off every now and then, or that would have gone down to like 0 or just the fan. But it is maintaining just 74-ish watts, which is near enough, it claims. Now, another nice sort of feature about it, I think, is the temperature. Forget me temperature gun thing here. If we have a look here, this is the temperature at the bottom. Pull it back so you can see. And you can see we're at 33, and as I move up, 59 there, it's 59.8, nearly 60 degrees in the middle there. And as we go up the column, 52. So, very top, we're at sort of 52. And down at the bottom, sort of 30. Middle seems higher, 60 degrees there. But the good thing is, if you look at the base bit, it is really cool. The actual table is at 16 degrees at the moment in here. And if you look there at 17 degrees, you can see the room temperature at the moment there in here. It's showing 17 degrees there on the left. The table, like I say, is at 17 degrees, and so is the base. That base is really cool. So that's great. It goes up to what 19 or so there. But to touch, it just feels the same temperature. And it shows you that all the heat, I'll try and get this off with one hand. A bit awkward while holding the camera, hold on. And you can see all the heat is coming out of the top there. We're getting 70 degrees of hot air blowing out the top there, and yet right next to it is only 22 degrees, which to me seems
good design. It's all the heat is going straight up there, and none of it is getting to the components around it.
So yeah, as you saw there, dead accurate. And like I said, there is no. I thought there might be a thermostat, reaches temperature, turns off, but no, it's a constant running, 72 watts ish. Doesn't ever go over that, apart from that initial surge. And yeah, it seems pretty efficient. As you saw, I was quite impressed with, when I took the temperature reading, how cool this stayed. All the time it's on, for the full 2 hours it's on, this base stays very, very cool, just about the same as the ambient temperature. All the heat, and I mean all of it, is coming out of there and getting into the cartridge. These get really, like I say, really nice to toasty to hold. But the base, it stays very, very cool. So yeah, I think it's a great buy, particularly, like I say, at 16 quid. I think it's worth more. I wouldn't go as far as the 37 quid or whatever that some people are charging. Maybe even that might be worth it, but absolute bargain, I think, at 16 quid. So if you can get one for round about that price, I would thoroughly recommend it. So you get the base dryer, 2 of these, so you can be using one while the other is recharging, what do they call it, recharging, drying out. And you're throwing in shoe dryer as well. So yeah, once again, really good value. So I hope it's been of some use. If it has, please give me a thumbs up. If it hasn't, please give me a thumbs down. I think I forgot to mention at the beginning that the links I will be giving below, I will give you a link to the eBay seller that I bought mine from, and also the Amazon one, which is less than £1 dearer. Like I said, I'd probably go Amazon myself if I don't know, just in case I wanted to send it back, but so I won't be doing, I'll be keeping it definitely. But I'll put links to them, but they are affiliated links, which means that if you click on them and buy anything from that browsing session, I get a few pence commission. And it is a few pence only, that's all, but it helps keep this channel going. Unfortunately, not once have I been approached by any company asking me to giving me a freebie to review. So I actually buy everything, so maybe that'll come in the future, I don't know. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend it, and I hope it's been of some use. Now, I have got other reviews coming up in the pipeline, or one of which, I don't know when you can see it there in the background. So have a look. That thing there. That red pole thing. I bought that recently from Lidl's, and it's a prop for holding up, say, panels higher than head height, like an acro, a builder's acro, but nothing like as strong. It holds 30 kilograms, but it can extend up to 2.9 meters, and it's got like a hydraulic sort of clamp pump thing, like a jack to hold it up. I'll be going into it in detail in the review. I have got a special purpose in mind for it, but I'll be just doing, so I'm going to be altering it, but I'll do a review on the product as it is, and I think that's a great buy at 15 quid. It seems really well made. So that's coming up. Loads more as well. I dare say I can't stop buying gadgets, so whenever I get one, I'll do a review on it. So if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, please click the little picture here of the shed. Once you've done that, click the bell icon below and you'll be informed of any future uploads. Thanks once again for watching this one and sticking with it to the end. Hope to catch you for the next one. Bye for now.